Liam Smith handed his first loss in his career. Won some fans. First time he's fighting in the United States. He falls at 23-1-1.
Co-promoter for the show, first of all, to introduce Liam, and that's Mr. Frank Warren. Frank.
Thanks very much, Eric, and thanks everybody for making us welcome here. We brought Liverpool's fighting Mexican. He comes to fight. I promised you he'd come to fight, and I don't think he disgraced himself at all against a great fighter. And it was competitive, the fight. It wasn't, totally one-sided. Liam, I think, could have done with maybe a fight at a little bit of a higher level before he fought Canelo, but that was what he wanted. As soon as I mentioned the fight, he said he wanted the fight. There was no hesitation, and that's why we're here. No sour grapes about anything. As you noticed, the cut over his eye, he did get cut in sparring about 5-6 weeks ago, so he didn't have a lot of, or he didn't spar after the cut. So you take all that into consideration. It was a fantastic performance by him, and I'm very proud of him. And I honestly do believe he'll be back over here next year, and hopefully or he will win a title back. And as I say, one thing about him, you're going to get a fight when Liam's in the ring. Thank you.
The Scouse Mexican, as they call him. Scouse, the accent, has a Mexican style.
Just thank you all for, all the interviews this week. Obviously, he made us feel at home, and I gave it my best for what I had today, and I fell up short. I think Canelo was good on the night. He was a bit, probably a bit too sharp for me today, but I have to start somewhere, stepping up. We've tried to get other names, and we never got them. As soon as the Canelo fight come, I was always going to take that fight. I think I said in the press conference beforehand, there's world champions and there's elite fighters, and I think that was the case today. But like I say, I have to start somewhere. That's my first step towards the big names. I think Canelo's going to move on now. He mightn't even defend that title, so hopefully I can have a couple of fights and then get back in the mix. But I hope you all enjoyed the fight. I told you I was going to come to fight. Even after getting put down in the sixth, I still tried to press the fight, and I could have really tried to settle for a point win, but it's not in me as a person. A point defeat, sorry. But I still tried to keep pressing the fight and make the fight entertaining. But I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll be back.
Liam Smith and promoter Frank Warren saying it was a step up in competition.
So we'll open up for questions. Any questions for Frank or for Joe Gallagher or Liam?
Liam, this is real quick. As a fight fan, I want to thank you for a very, very courageous performance.
We said from the beginning, this guy is tough. Canelo gave him respect. We gave him respect. We saw videos of him. We studied him. We knew that he was tough. And I'll tell you this much, we're going to think twice or three times before we fight a Joe Gallagher fighter again, because, he brings them ready, and they're tough as nails. And you're right, he gave us all a great performance. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Questions, yeah.
Liam, Joe, it was great to talk to you guys this week. Frank, you guys were all awesome. Great to have you here in Dallas. Was Canelo stronger than you thought? You knew he was going to go to the body. You guys were going to go to the body. When did you really start to feel his punches?
I probably sound like a hypocrite to you, because obviously as the fight goes on now, he put me down 3 times, but every shot I took flush, I thought, no, that's okay. He punches, but it was not like, whoa, can't take another one of them. But then the 6th round, obviously you saw the replay, and I knew the shot caught me down the back of the head. Next minute I was on the floor, so I didn't really have too much of a say in that one. Then the body shots were body shots, But yeah, he does it fairly well, but not massive. You know what I mean? Not a massive puncher. But he's very accurate. He's very accurate with his shots. He's got good speed and good timing.
Well placed, would you say?
Yeah, certainly the last one. The last one was well placed. You know, the second one was I threw a left hook and he to the head. He threw on the body, and it's a little bit of a delayed reaction one. But again, I was fine. After the head shot, I was fine. I think I finished the round quite well.
Did you feel like you ever hurt him?
No, not necessarily. But I don't think, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses. But you know, I never sparred since the 12th of August. Obviously, you know, I got cut, which was the first cut that opened. So I would have liked a little bit of, you know, better preparation in my timing weren't there. You know, sometimes I had Canelo in the positions I wanted him, and I thought he's getting out too easy. You know, I was missing too easy, and I was a little bit like, you know, sloppy. But I think that probably would have only made it more competitive. Like I said, I still think, you know, it would have been along the lines of the same outcome.
Okay.
Liam, Jesus Lopez, ESPN Deportes, right here. First of all, I really admire the courage that you put on this fight. Congratulations. It is honorable. What kind of psychological impact creates on a fighter like yourself the kind of support that Canelo Alvarez got from the Mexican crowd in this stadium?
The support was great. Oh, sorry. I weren't fazed by the crowd. You know, I don't know whether you noticed my ring walk and me before the fight. The crowd never got to me, you know, at all. It was great, and the fans were great, you know, for both people. And I wish I could, I wish I could rewind the clock and do it all again. But you know, obviously, it played its part for Canelo.
Thank you, Liam.
Yeah.
Liam Smith.
Okay.
Took on Canelo Alvarez, stopped in the
Questions?
9th
Go ahead.
round.
Yeah,
Watching
Lance,
the press
you want a
conference on
question?
Ring
You have a
TV.
All right.
Liam, when you talk about that difference between maybe a special fighter and an elite fighter, is that you're referring to Canelo, right? What is it that he does specifically that, you know, gets him to that level?
He's a good fighter, you know. I said before, and when you strip him down and you take away all the, you know, the publicity around him, he's a good fighter. But you know, he's got good timing, good accuracy, and then he's obviously experienced at this level. You know, he knew when to take his walks, he knew when to come for me. Obviously, he's been at this level before. You know, this was my first step to this level, and it was against, you know, a very good fighter in Canelo. So, you know, I'll take my hat off to him.
Okay, over here. Yep.
Question over here, Liam. He went to the ropes a lot. Did you feel that he was trying to rest, or do you feel that, in hindsight, he was setting traps for you?
You know, maybe a bit of both. I said to Joe, you know, I don't know whether you noticed, but he was breathing heavy, and he was, like, you know, I thought it did turn into the fight that I thought it was going to turn into, and it was part of the fight that I wanted it to turn into. But you know, I think he landed the good shots at the right time in the fight. You know, I think there weren't much in it early on. You know, he maybe have nicked the round, but he was nicking them hard. He was expending a lot of energy, and then obviously the 6th round when probably we want to turn the screw, you know, he puts me down. So it's hard luck, really. You know, he got the good shots at the right time.
Liam, right here.
Dan.
You're a courageous performance, like everybody has said, so we appreciate that. My question for you is, I know it's hard to absorb. You got knocked down 3 times, you got stopped, you lost your title, but in the long run, do you think that this kind of experience against that kind of fighter in this kind of atmosphere, ultimately, because you're still a pretty young guy, only 28 years old, will make you a better fighter down the road?
Yeah, 100%. I think it'll make me a better fighter. You know, obviously, I say I want to keep getting better and better and keep boxing high-level fighters. And you know, there's a lot of them, you know, across the world in the light middleweight division. But Canelo is the number one. You know, he made 154, so he's the number one in the division. So, you know, all the ones below that, you know, I'd like to get a win and get back at them. Obviously, we don't, you know, you don't think Canelo's going to defend that title at 154. He's probably going to move up now anyway. So, you know, obviously, Frank can get me a win and then see where we can go from there. Then, but you know, obviously, I'm gonna learn from this whole experience. You know, all this media this week has been great for me. You know, I think, you all noticed it. You know, the media never got to me. You know, even though I lost the fight, it was nothing to do with the occasion. It was Canelo Alvarez, and that's it. It was nothing to do with the crowd. It was nothing to do with all the media. It was just, you know, mainly Canelo was better than me tonight.
Seeing you
Liam
in the,
Smith
in the lobby of the
traveled
hotel
across
last
the
night.